Got through that okay, huh? So things are changing fast these days. The swamp is being drained so quickly, we might start finding bodies from the Clinton administration. Everyone's feeling it, especially Hollywood. I mean, can you blame them? I mean, look who's on the cover of Variety, huh? Yeah. Now that's a man, huh? It's something Hollywood wishes it had more of. Men, real men. You want proof? Well, according to the rap and entertainment rag, in movies, we're seeing a cultural shift towards more sensitive male portrayals, contrasting with the political climate influenced by Donald Trump's presidency, which may push towards tradition.
What does that mean? Studies recognize an appetite for more sensitive men. Trump's re-election sends a conflicting message. Huh.
Traditional masculine stereotypes. Translation, pussies.
Oh.
They just revealed what the left most fears, men emulating this guy. The rap also cites data that suggests many young men will look to Hollywood rather than real life for male role models.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
And men will watch the WNBA to learn how to dunk a basketball. True. This is true. Young men today are often accused of being toxic.
Yeah.
But why would they look to places like Hollywood, who lead the pack in calling them toxic?
Yeah.
And what kind of masculine man is Hollywood offering, really? This guy? My God, if this guy was any prettier, he'd be carrying Elon Musk's baby. So guys are looking to Hollywood for men. You're going to have to go back a few decades. You know, Eastwood, Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Charles Nelson Riley.
Dom DeLuise.
Or you could check out the current political landscape. You'll see masculine, forceful figures like Trump, Pete Hegseth, or border czar Tom Homan taking the reins of our nation.
That's a Homan.
Far cry not just from Hollywood, but what was in D.C. before.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, talk about a murderer's row of emasculation. These guys make the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race look like the Dirty Dozen.
Oh.
The point is, the last thing Hollywood wants is to endorse traditional masculinity. But Hollywood still believes it can create fiction and claim it represents reality. It's no wonder they thought they could imprint their values on politics, pushing their guilty white liberal version of reality on ours. Men could be women. The criminal is the victim.
Yeah.
And the victim is the criminal. Trump is Hitler. Seth Rogen is funny. There's just no end to those lies. And yet they lost, and they lost big. Hollywood can't stand that. A reality TV star, someone so lowly on the entertainment totem pole, is actually in the White House. Here's actress Natasha Lyonne.
It's very weird to have like a showbiz guy in charge. Is surreal. I mean, because well, I'm actually pretty horrified by how strategic and effective this whole thing has been.
Now, she says it's surreal, but what she really means, it's unfair. I mean, why him and not us? Don't you like us anymore? I thought we were America's royalty, not that guy. How did he get to write and star in the movie while we couldn't? You see, their outrage stems from the fact that their fictions are now treated as fictions and the real world has prevailed.
Yeah.
So my advice to Hollywood is stick to action movies. They're popular because they're built on one thing, the hero kicking the crap out of the bad guys, period. It's what most of us want to see, justice prevailing, that there's order in the world. We don't even care if the action hero can't speak English or happens to knock up his nanny. The problem is Hollywood might be too late. Trump just cornered the action movie market in real life, and every single day he's leaving Hollywood in the dust. It makes you wonder, is Hollywood really even necessary these days?
Well,
we
for
got
entertainment.
an action hero in the Oval Office taking on forces that have been nothing but sinister for years.
Yeah.
Killer gangs coming over our border, government bureaucrats stealing our money, a liberal government blob that only grows larger and larger, eating anything in its way. Hollywood may not like it, but that's where the real heroes are these days.
Jelly beans.
So young men out there, ignore Netflix. The real male role models are in real life. Your fathers, grandfathers, people who fought wars and went to work and kept you fed. And yes, the men running things now, trying to undo a twisted ideology that says gender is a choice, masculinity is toxic, and all achievement is aggression. Meanwhile, in Hollywood, the only man they care about these days is a guy named Oscar. And he doesn't even have a penis. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He has a license to kill and a Viagra prescription to fill. Former CIA operative and host of the President's Daily Beat broadcast, Mike Baker.
Yeah.
She's the life of the party and the death of my eardrums.
Oh.
Co-host of Outnumbered, Emily Campagno. He's broken more chairs than Chris Christie. Mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, Glenn Jacobs. And she's been around so many fighters, her favorite vegetable is cauliflower ear. Podcast, Charlie Arnold.
It's not true.
Mike, I love the cardigan. You're kind of like a hip guidance counselor that gives you advice on your college choices while selling you weed.
Yeah, you know, what I'm doing is I'm going for a mix between Matthew McConaughey and General Waverly from White Christmas.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
That is quite a reference. I don't get it, and I should probably just move on. As a man in your early 70s, you watched. Do you think?
So you did come up with an insult.
Yes, I did.
Oh, good.
Do you think that we're living in a real life movie? Like, the fact is that there's nothing more interesting than what's going on in the White House.
No, absolutely. There's nothing more interesting than what's going on in the White House and, of course, overseas, right? I mean, all the that's happening around the world.
Who cares about that?
Who cares about that? But look, as you were talking, I was reminded of that fantastic South Park episode that was making fun of Kathleen Kennedy from Disney, where Cartman was Kathleen Kennedy, and every time the Disney executives would come in and propose a new movie, like the new Bambi or something, then she would say, put a chick in it and make her gay. That was always the answer that they had, right? And so anybody turning to Hollywood for any idea of what masculinity looks like at this point in time, right, they're lost.
Put a chick in it and make her gay is exactly what I say when I have people over at my hot tub.
Sounds like things get interesting over there.
Oh, they do.
Oh, my
One day, Charlie.
Yeah, if you ever get out of the basement. Then.
Yes. Emily, do you agree that male Hollywood role models are failing men?
Yes, I do, because Hollywood always sort of represented the created, the machinated fantasy. And the whole point, and the whole point is that they were manufacturing fantasy that guys wanted, that they wanted to look up to, right? So whether it was superhero men, escapism during the Depression, hot, gorgeous, amazing women, but now the fantasy, instead of being what women and men want, is literally the opposite of reality in this perverse, disgusting way. I mean, look at it. We've had an epidemic of eunuchs, thanks to Hollywood stamping and essentially elevating like all the beta males that would have been in movies, the friend zone ones. All of a sudden, those are the leading characters.
The friend zone ones.
Exactly. I don't want to see the androgynous, nubile, super nice, like good at math dork be the leading character. Not at all. Right? You want He-Man to be.
You want Lee Marvin.
Yeah.
You want James Coburn.
Yes. Charles Nelson Riley.
Younger.
Yeah.
Little younger. But yeah, exactly. So I think the reality, to your point, is that now Hollywood is sort of representing a total nightmare instead of an amazing fantasy. And then the amazing fantasy that when you want your role models, it's people that have served their country in a masculine way rather than. And also, I will say this, that I think this emphasizes the importance of the home too. Because when these kids go to these movies and they see like, hey, dad, this person with boobs and a bulge, like, is that the right man? That's why the fathers need to say, here, son, this is your role model, and it starts here.
Boobs and a bulge.
I don't know. I was trying to be G-rated.
There's a bar like that downtown, Glenn. You're not gonna go? I haven't talked to you. I don't think I've talked to you since the election. And don't you find it such a weird contrast that I don't think I've ever lived in a political time like this where there's like something happening every single day, and I feel like I'm in the third act of a great movie.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like a trilogy where the bad guy, the good guy makes his appearance, then the bad guy comes back, and then the good guy comes through at the end.
Exactly. The first act, 2016. Second act, 2020.
Right. That's right. For the record, I would like to say, though, that real men do wear spandex. Okay?
Yeah, they do.
Unfortunately, sometimes.
Honest to God, I'm wearing some now.
Sometimes Joy Bayer does as well, though. I'm sorry for that terrible visual for everybody. But you guys are exactly right. Hollywood wants to distract from Trump because they want weak men and women. They want people who are dependent. They want people who are compliant. They're wolves that want us to all be sheep, and their worst nightmare is an alpha sheepdog like Donald Trump and the people of his administration, because they remind Americans of what this country really is and who we really are.
Yeah, you know.
Good point, Glenn.
Yeah.
I love it when they applaud my next question. So nice. Charlie, it's pretty funny. Are you aware that there is a movie out about Trump? It's called The Apprentice, and it's up for like Oscars.
Really?
So it's totally anti-Trump. The director just got Me Too'd.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I mean it's like the world is being scripted.
Wow,
so
I didn't know
the
that.
guy who writes and directs a damning movie about Trump,
The irony,
ends
right?
up getting Me Too'd, and then Trump becomes president. It's perfect.
Well, here's the thing. We all know that the left is made up of a bunch of frauds, right? We know Hollywood is a bunch of frauds, so it doesn't actually surprise me at all that, of course, the director of this movie, the way he's trying to portray Trump, it actually is being reflected upon himself.
Yeah.
I mean, Hollywood is being run by the woke left, specifically woke feminists who despise men and everything that they traditionally stand for. They call it toxic masculinity, but really it's just like assertive, dominant, strong protectors that we all really appreciate in men. And it's disgusting to see, because when we see the pivot and what Hollywood's trying to do now, like look who just got signed to one of the biggest talent agencies. Joe Biden now has a talent agent. Kamala Harris now has a talent agent. Good question.
Joe
That's a
Biden.
great question.
It's not breathing.
No.
I have no idea. And then also, it's not a man, but it's a black bisexual woman, Cynthia Erivo. She was the one who started Wicked. She's now being cast as Jesus Christ in the new production of Jesus Christ. Yes.
Hold on. I'm going to wait to see the trailer.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, listen, they're the last people we should be looking to for normalcy. Like, we want to bring back the Terminator. We want to bring back Rocky. We want to do away with the Noodle Boys, which everyone's probably like, what's Noodle Boys? Timothy Chalamet, that little skinny twerp you put on our screen, that who they're now saying is like the new, like, oh, he's the masculine, like, identity. I think, Emily, you probably can agree with me here. We want our men to have just like a slightly higher body fat
Not a
percentage
noodle.
than we do.
Yeah.
Not
Something
a
other
noodle.
than a noodle. So, my biggest concern is they're searching for the new James Bond.
Yeah.
And what the are they going to do with it? Yeah.
Greg.
You've aged out, Mike. You've aged out.
Yeah. I could be James Bond's dad.
Yeah. I think, Rachel Maddow. She has the hair. Beautiful hair.
Yeah, because falling. I just had to switch mic, and but I gotta find something to hold this on, to hold it up. But all right, well, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you again next time or tomorrow.